Welcome to Wrasslin Raw! All right, you're listening to Wrasslin Raw, the podcast that takes you back to when Raw became war and Attitude ruled. Thank you for joining us. You're here with Ryan Arico.
He's still wearing that damn bow tie.
Joe Giammatteo.
He just got screwed at Survivor Series, and you've heard that before.
I'm the one and only Jason Bartlett. We're going to examine WWE history one pay-per-view at a time. That's right, folks. This is a special pay-per-view episode, so pay-per-view stipulations are in effect. We're going to be giving our star ratings. Joe's going to be giving us Meltzer's star ratings from the Wrestling Observer. We're going to talk about whether or not we got our money's worth, and it's going to be a damn good time. So, without further ado, in this episode of Wrasslin Raw, we're going to be talking about Survivor Series 1998, Deadly Game. Deadly Game aired on November 15th, 1998, and was recorded at the Kiel Center in St. Louis, Missouri, and features Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
All right, then, let's get into it. Before we get into the pay-per-view proper, let's not forget that we had a Sunday Night Heat lead-in for the pay-per-view, and to be honest, part of me is a little sorry that we missed it. We had too much defeating the Hardy Boys.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that might have been all right.
There's probably... Never mind.
They've been making some appearances on Sunday Night Heat recently, it sounds like, the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, and especially after some of this pay-per-view and some of the tag action in recent weeks, I'm looking forward to a little fresh blood in the tag division.
That's basically what I was going to say a few seconds ago. I wish they were maybe here tonight and not on Heat. But
well, maybe from that same vein, next up we had Hardcore Holly and Scorpio defeating LOD 2000, Draws an Animal.
Hardcore? What was his name?
Holly.
Yes, billed as Hardcore Holly, yes.
How about that?
Okay.
At least in my research. And later on in the episode, they do mention Al Snow as being the head of the official job squad.
Yeah.
So this is what they're referring to. And we will mention that again later. But Val Venus defeated Tiger Ali Singh.
Ugh.
Who was the babyface there? For me personally, I don't know. Gangrel defeated Steve Blackman. That was the last one of the night. That could have been all right.
Yeah.
Well, Survivor Series itself, though, had a great cinematic intro highlighting the tournament, and that was followed by the Deadly Game intro, a totally separate thing.
That was a funky riff.
The official Deadly Game intro song, and it was a knockoff of the 80s song Shattered Dreams by Johnny Hates Jazz. So instead of Shattered Dreams, it was Deadly Game, Deadly Game.
Yeah, it definitely had like that shitty 80s action movie feel to it, like Best of the Best Part 3.
The best of the best of the best.
Just terrible.
The least of the best.
Do you remember which one is Best of the Best 3?
No.
That's the one with Shooter McGavin, and he's got the neo-Nazis in some, Midwest town.
Yeah, a Universal Soldier Part 2.
With Goldberg.
With Goldberg, yeah.
Wasn't Steve Austin in Part 4?
Well,
he was in one of the Universal Soldier movies.
There was a news story last week that Steve Austin was pissed that he was lowballed on a Universal Soldier 2 opportunity that Bill Goldberg
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did end up starring in 4 or 5.
And I think that's probably why.
Maybe.
Because he was pissed off about that.
Goldberg was better,
Who's keeping up with Universal Soldier anyway?
Back in the arena, the Nestle's Crunch blimp was there soaring above all of our hearts. And there was a sea of signs there. It was a beautiful scene.
Commentary got my sign picked out for this week.
Oh.
Yeah, me too, actually.
What is it?
Yeah, we'll save that till later.
Find out.
All right.
I incorporated that into our money's worth section. So
okay.
Commentary gave us a quick view of the brackets here before the Fink came on the PA to announce WWF owner Vince McMahon, who needed to be helped up into a standing position from his wheelchair. And Vince assured us that this was going to be a night we would never forget, and went on to say that our first match was going to be one small step for man, but one giant leap for mankind, which takes us into our first match of the night. Mankind defeats Dwayne Gill by pinfall in 30 seconds in a first-round bracket. I loved Mankind coming out in a suit. He looked like a member of the original Nation of Domination. I thought he just needed Clarence Mason there next to him. Much like you guys, I continue to love Vince's disgust at every kind of affection that Mankind shows him. Without exception, every kind. A pretty big crowd chant got going for HBK before they announced the mystery partner.
Wonder if there was some rag sheet saying he was going to be there.
Yeah. The partner that Mankind would be facing ended up being Dwayne Gill. Vince had a prepared speech to introduce him. The narrative even mentioned a WCW. It shocked me. And Dwayne Gill's entry music was like Muzak you would hear, Muzak with a Z, you would hear while on hold with the electric company. Like if you were trying to get a hold of somebody during a brownout and the pyro that he got scared him.
Oh, poor Gill. He's not used to that pyro.
And that's really all I had. There's nothing to this at 30 seconds, but given the introductions and the surprise of Dwayne Gill and Mankind's suit, I had to go with 4 stars. This wasn't wrestling so much as just plain fun to see, so I'll take it for what it is. But Ryan, as the recent recipient of some Dwayne Gill memorabilia, I think I'd like to hear your thoughts first, please.
Well, I mean, I was very pumped to see Dwayne Gill coming out here, and I'm just going to spoil it. He's not Jobber of the Week yet, because I'm saving for that when he's Gilbert.
Well, Vince basically gave us a Jobber of the Week segment on Dwayne Gill here.
He did, but you'll get one on it. You'll get one when he's Gilbert for sure. So I didn't give him one here. I also loved him being startled by the pyro and JR pointing out that he's not used to it. But that was just perfect in every way, like Drago. Speaking of, I thought this match was perfect. Mankind, he hits him like twice. And then rolls up old Gill for the 3 count and the victory. I mean, really, what did you expect was going to happen here? But everything that transpired here, it's 5 stars and a match of the year candidate for me.
My goodness. Yeah, I liked that Vince came out here, had to put the cheaters on to announce the mystery opponent. I always love when Vince has to put on the cheaters. I loved the HBK chants from the crowd. I also love when Vince does the hick voice when he says WCW.
Yeah.
And yeah, the match was good. Dwayne Gill was amazing, entertaining, hilarious, quick pin. Nothing too exciting here, but it was pretty funny to see Dwayne Gill. And I also liked seeing the Goldust and Mankind cosplayers up front in the front row there.
Yes, they were good.
It was very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty entertaining start to the show. I like the fact that Vince started off this show. This is his tournament. This is Mr. McMahon's tournament. So, part of a long-term story that we're going to tell for the next couple hours. So, I gave it 3 stars.
Yeah. Now, what did Meltzer have to say about this? It couldn't have been too much at 30 seconds.
Well, he didn't give it a rating. I'm not sure why. I guess because it was kind of a match that just came out of nowhere. We didn't know who the opponent was. But he said fans expected the mystery opponent to be Shawn Michaels and booed heavily when it was not.
Aw.
Poor old Dwayne.
Poor Dwayne. Well, let's keep it going because there is a lot of wrestling to get to in this pay-per-view. Earlier, there was a confrontation on Sunday Night Heat from women's champion Jackie. And we then went to Kevin, oh my God, Kelly. There's a blast from the past. Jesus, we never get enough Kevin Kelly anymore. He's backstage with Sable to get her reaction, and it was predictably horrible. Although I will say that she sounds a lot less robotic when she's screeching like a banshee. I mean, it's no more enjoyable, but it's less robotic. And after that, we quickly went to a different, much more superior inflated blonde in our next match. Al Snow defeats Jeff Jarrett with Deborah McMichael by pinfall in 3 minutes and 31 seconds in a first-round bracket. I don't care what anyone says. I still love the gimmick, the head banging that Al does with the fans. I mean, it's all gold.
A lot of fans tonight.
Yeah, and it is a gimmick. I mean, to be clear, there's no real substance behind it, and Al himself falls flat for the most part in the ring, generally, but, like, the gimmick is still pretty entrancing for me. It did look like Socko was tied around Head's head That doesn't bode well for the future, and that ends up getting played out later on. We also found out here that Al Snow is officially the leader of the Job Squad, like I said earlier. The Job Squad being Al himself, Hardcore Holly, and Scorpio. The Job Squad was always one of my favorite names for a stable, even if the stable itself was never that good. I always wanted one of the
it's got Scorpio.
I always wanted one of the Job Squad Pin Me, Pay Me shirts, but I never got one. The pinfalls were really fast in this match, and because of that, most of them looked lazy and worked instead of believable, and I think I'm just going to leave it at lazy and worked instead of believable to sum up this entire match. And that translated to 1 star for me because none of it was offensive enough to be less than 1 star, and that's kind of it. Joe, what'd you think of it?
Well, I like something I like about Deborah, other than the obvious things. I like when she immediately, when she gets into the ring, she goes up to the referee and just gives him the business. I think that's just a good heel move from an extremely hot manager. So I do enjoy that. And I mean, this was, the finish, I guess, was pretty clever with the guitar and the head involved, but I landed on 1 star as well. And I wonder if Jarrett had a clause in his contract that he never takes a guitar shot. I mean, this guy is just dishing them out left and right. I don't think we've seen him take one, so clearly there's something in that contract. But yeah, 1 star for me.
We're probably all in agreement here. This was nothing special, that's for sure. It was just sloppy. Like, they just weren't on the same page for a good part of this match. And I do agree with you, Joe. The ending was clever, I suppose. But it's really shocking how Jeff Jarrett, we were hoping he was going to be coming back and rising his star here in the WWF, but he really hasn't. He's still staying in this lowly position that he's been in for a few years now. So that's a shame, because I felt like we liked him, I don't know, in like 93, 94 when we first started. He was doing good stuff then, but he hasn't been ever since. And I'm right there with you guys in a 1 star.
Yeah, he's been treading water for so long, and now he's got a couple of buoys to hold on to there to keep from sinking, but it's still not getting him anywhere. What Meltzer think of this?
He gave this a dud. He said they traded moves, but Snow was a little slow and they didn't work together as well as you would think.
All right, well, let's keep it going to our next match. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats the Big Boss Man by disqualification in 3 minutes and 20 seconds in a first-round bracket. I just wanted to throw out before the match started that I'm very happy to see the Big Boss Man here in the ring in a match, and I was really hoping that opinion wouldn't change as things progressed. This match started off great. I loved the jump start at the outside. The Boss Man got thrown into the ring stairs. That looked good. But I did not care for the camera view of Vince watching from backstage. I just didn't want to be distracted from something that I was really looking forward to. I wanted to see the Big Boss Man in action here. And I ended up being really annoyed with the level of censorship here. We got more of it throughout the rest of the pay-per-view, but this is where it became much more clear.
Especially for a pay-per-view.
Yeah. We had some language bleeped out earlier, and in this match, the double middle finger from Austin got blurred out. Just what kind of a pussy blurs out the middle finger?
On a pay-per-view.
Right. The Boss Man ended up blatantly taking the nightstick to Austin, drawing the disqualification, but Vince's reaction of pure joy suggested that was the plan all along. So that makes me feel much better about the whole picture-in-picture thing that we had. And also, I just want to throw in here that I am always impressed by the Boss Man's ability to twirl a nightstick. Like, he flips that thing around like expert hands do with like butterfly knives and nunchucks and like all that kind of shit. He whips that thing around, just, it's amazing to watch.
He's been working that stick for years.
He has. So I wasn't disappointed with this. And to be fair, like, I didn't really have time to be disappointed. This did exactly what it was meant to do and sell the story of Austin working up from the bottom throughout the pay-per-view, both literally and figuratively, like the bottom of the brackets, but also the bottom of health after getting this nightstick taken to him. So I gave this 3 stars. I thought this was a great story-driven wrestling match. Ryan, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, story-driven is the right way to put it. The wrestling here was fairly short, but we find out the big boss's marching orders were to come out here and whoop on Steve with his club and leave him in a position where he cannot continue, or if he did, would be in a handicap through the rest of the night. So, very good storytelling. I only ended up going with 2 stars, though, just because there really was the wrestling. I was really hoping to see a little bit more out of the big boss. So him just being in there for a few minutes was a little bit disappointing, I thought.
Yeah, the thing that disappointed me was just, and I understand it was probably most likely a timing thing, but...
We've got 20 matches to get to.
Yeah, we get no formal intro for this match. We just get JR saying, here's the next match. And here comes the biggest star in wrestling. It's just a weird feeling. Probably part of the reason why I don't really care for the tournament style show. But I thought the match was good. I think it served its purpose. Like everything you said, Ryan, this is Mr. McMahon's tournament. So the idea here is to punish Austin so he cannot continue. That served its purpose for storytelling. So I landed right in the middle there and gave it 3 stars.
What did Meltzer have to say about it?
He gave it a 0.5 star. He said, decent brawling, but too short to build too much and real weak finish.
We got a whole pay-per-view to get through here, Meltzer. Jesus. What more could you want? All right, next up, backstage, Michael Cole was there to ask Vince, Mr. McMahon, aren't you at all concerned that Stone Cold has advanced in the Deadly Game tournament? Vince just gave a great answer there, saying that the night is young and that there's more where that came from. So a neat little quick piece to take us through to our next match. X-Pac versus Steven Regal ends in a double countout in 8 minutes and 10 seconds in a first round bracket. Honestly, with the length of this match and how it ends, I was not optimistic about how this was going to go. I was entertained, though, by the King singing along with Regal's Monty Python music. I thought that was really funny. He got hooked in it. Early on, it felt like X-Pac didn't quite know what to do with Regal. It really felt like there was a big clash of styles here, and JR even ended up mentioning that at one point. I think a result of that clash was some excessive rest hold use, and therefore some not very exciting time there in the ring. And that's where things stayed for me. Despite Vince ordering some extra time for the match, sudden death overtime, whatever that was supposed to mean. The real root of this, though, is that with the double countouts, that means that Austin gets a bye in the next round. So that was a neat little piece of storytelling that I did not predict and was pleasantly surprised by. And for that, this got bumped up to a 2-star match for me. The match itself, not as much, but that little twist at the end made it all worthwhile. Joe, what'd you have on it?
Well, first off, I absolutely love the Man's Man song. I think it's so good. It's just so funny. But I wouldn't think that I would say this about an X-Pac match, but this just took the crowd completely out of this show to me when I was watching this. Regal just looks like shit right now. It's probably nursing an injury and not in good ring shape because of it. I love the Man's Man gimmick because it's hilarious, but it's clearly a rib. Like, it's not doing him any favors to be this joke of a gimmick while he's struggling to get into ring shape on top of it. So he's best when he plays that pretentious British blue blood heel, both in and out of the ring. So he's just not in a good position right now with this company, and I expect more. I expect them to use X-Pac better because he is one of the better wrestlers in the company right now. So I gave this a dud. I thought it sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I was very surprised, too, at just how boring this match was for an X-Pac match. That's not usually something you say for one of his matches. Maybe the most entertaining part was JR messes up and calls Regal Blackman a few times, enough times that, like, the King has to, that's Steven Regal. That's not Blackman. He says something about, like, maybe you need to take less of your medication or something. Cut back the dose. But that brings up another point, because in recent years, people have really hammered on JR for flubbing names up in AEW, but this had nothing to do with his age. This is just something he did even in his youth. So maybe people should lay off him. That's just something he's always done. The match, too many rest holds. I couldn't believe how boring this was. And I'm right there with you, Joe. I ended up giving it a dud where I probably thought that it was 1-star action, but I was so disappointed that this was an X-Pac match that was making me bored that I made it a dud.
What did Meltzer have to say about it?
He gave it 3/4 of a star. He said this was a match so illogical it should have been booked in WCW. All the post-match stuff was an illogical waste of time. So he hated the match and the storytelling aspect of the...
Well, the thing after didn't make any sense. Like, Vince came out and said that we're going to have a 5-minute sudden death, and then they were just like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. And then they moved on.
It almost made it look like maybe X-Pac had a legitimate injury or something that they had to
it did.
Backtrack on it. It's weird.
I don't know. Well, without a clean finish to that match, that meant Austin got the bye, though. That was the story. That was the hook that got me for it.
Yeah, this is where they actually thought things through with the bracket, with storytelling aspect. Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into our next match. Ken Shamrock defeats Goldust by submission in 5 minutes and 56 seconds in a first-round bracket. Goldust is 32 years old here. I don't know why, but that was just so surprising to me. Shamrock looked great in this. Goldust, I didn't think he looked too bad either, and that stayed mostly true throughout the match. I didn't have a ton of notes because I enjoyed watching it. It didn't get sloppy until the end, but I mean, that was forgivable for me, so just for the sheer fact that we've got a match that I'm enjoying watching, I went with 3 stars on this. I thought it was a solid match. It was nothing more than that, but then again, nothing less either. So, Ryan, what'd you think of it?
Also really didn't have that many notes, but I didn't hate it either. One of my first notes, though, was when Shamrock walked out, the guy looks like he's maybe on 12 cycles of fucking steroids right now. I mean, he's just chiseled out of marble.
So he,
right
too,
now.
is taking too much medication. Like Jim Ross.
He's much too much.
12 cycles, a year's worth, all at once.
Tonight. He took them tonight before the match.
Right before coming out.
But the wrestling was very solid. At the end, Goldust goes for the Shattered Dreams, and the ref steps in the way and blocks it, and the fans hated it. Yeah. Like, they just booed the shit out of that Kenny didn't get his balls crushed, because they really hate Ken now. So I ended up going with 2-star. I don't know. I just thought it was a good, solid matchup, but not quite a 3, in my opinion.
See, for me, I think sadly the crowd seemed bored with this one too. And I don't blame them early on. I think that once we got to the punting of the dick gimmick, they of course got into it.
Yeah, they hated that.
For some reason, there's a lot of punting of dicks in WWF these days. But
yeah, it's a trend.
Yeah, I just think Goldust just is not a great babyface right now. He can be, he was at one time, but right now I just don't think he's a good babyface. I feel like there's not really a good babyface for this crowd to get behind in this match. So I thought the finish was rushed as well. I gave it 1 star because I think Goldust just sucks right now, and he's capable of being better.
Yeah. What'd Meltzer think of it?
He gave it 1.5 stars. He said there was not much heat in this match, but both worked better with each other than any match to this point.
That's fair enough. And I do agree that there's just a ton of dick kicking going on in the WWF, but it's one of those things like tits, like everybody just loves seeing somebody getting kicked in the dick. It's a universal thing. It's universally enjoyable.
I mean, they do love it. You can't deny that. So it makes sense.
Give the fans what they want.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's keep it going to our next match. The Rock defeats the Big Boss Man by pinfall in 3 seconds in the final first round bracket. The pop for The Rock coming out just as big as Austin's. I don't think there was any difference between the two at all. And this started off with the DX intro, and damn, it was long and drawn out. But the swerve is that rather than Triple H, Briscoe and Patterson came down to the ring. Briscoe got on the mic to announce that Triple H wasn't going to be here, and then Patterson got on the mic to announce the last-minute replacement as being the Big Boss Man.
Wait a second. Who asked him to make this announcement?
Mr. McMahon.
Thank you.
And he said it like 6 or 7 times. Mr. McMahon.
Hey, Mr. McMahon.
And then JR was making fun of him for it later on. So the Big Boss Man came down. The Rock did an immediate roll up for the pin and the win. The crowd pop was electricity. And so much so that the lead up, the 3-second match, and the crowd pop, all of those things together, they got 3 stars out of me for this. I thought this was just a great way to build momentum for The Rock. So, Joe, what'd you think of it?
I agree with you. I think I don't hate this because they're giving Rock a big push here. It's pretty obvious. And Briscoe and Patterson were fucking hilarious to me in this. I really enjoyed that, so I landed on 3 stars as well.
I mean, there's not much of a match to talk about, so I'll start off and say I was right with you guys with 3 stars just because of the shine that's getting put on The Rock tonight. That's really cool to see. The only thing I was a little disappointed about is this, with what happened with Big Boss earlier, feels like you wasted him. You brought him in, you built him up, and now, I don't know, he just got humiliated, right? Beaten in 4 seconds. So it's hard to make anyone afraid of him at this point, but whatever, it worked for what they were going for here to strap that rocket to The Rock. So yeah, 3 stars.
Yeah. What did Meltzer have to say about it? Again, probably not too much.
Well, again, he gave no rating on this.
That's fair.
Yeah, he gave no rating and gave really no comments on it. Just recapped it.
Unlike us, he doesn't really take the story.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He's all
yeah.
just match.
It's all just a match. Yeah,
yeah,
bell
that's
to bell.
fair. Yeah.
And by the time the bell was done ringing, it was time to ring it again.
It was still echoing.
Yeah. Let's go now to our next match. The Undertaker, with Paul Bearer, defeats Kane by pinfall in 7 minutes and 16 seconds in a quarterfinal bracket. So I don't have anything on this match, really, other than once you've seen one Kane versus Undertaker match, you've pretty much seen them all. This wasn't bad. It just wasn't anything that we haven't seen before. Kane remains the biggest jobber of all time.
Yeah.
I stayed at 1 star. It was neither offensive nor enjoyable. Ryan, what'd you have on it?
How long can you beat this dead horse of Kane versus The Undertaker? And I love them both. Yeah, I mean, like, these are two of my all-time favorites here. But even me, I'm tapping out. Like, it's just been, it's been too often. These monster-on-monster matches, they're just boring, and especially when you see them wrestle every other week at this point, it seems. Just coming off last week when I said I thought Kane looked his absolute best we've ever seen him in the ring against a much smaller, lighter opponent in Edge. That was a great match, but I couldn't go anything more than a 1 star because I just give it up.
Yeah, this match actually pissed me off because all of this build-up trying to revive Kane, having him burn people alive, and all, for him to just strut out there and lose to The Undertaker again. What's the point of that? Blast, as Jerry Lawler said, blasted right out of this tournament. And that blasted it down to a dud for me, brother.
Oh, yeah.
He only knows destruction.
What'd Meltzer think of it?
He agreed with me. He gave it a dud. He said, Undertaker desperately needs time to heal up as he's practically immobile. I didn't notice that, but I'm sure.
I didn't either.
Yeah. Kane was not selling really bad.
I didn't think really that was the case either. I didn't think the match was bad. It was just redundant.
Right.
Yeah, recycled garbage.
Not a catch-as-catch-can classic.
No.
All right, let's keep it going to our next match. Mankind defeats Al Snow by submission in 3 minutes and 55 seconds in a quarterfinal bracket. I still think Mankind looks great in that suit. We got a really clumsy picture-in-picture with Vince and the Stooges showing that Vince stole Socko and put it around Head, laughing about Mankind's reaction when he's going to see it. And that was probably the first bit of storytelling I've seen in this whole ordeal that kind of made me roll my eyes, especially when Mankind did realize it and started punching Head. I didn't like that. I don't like what this is doing to Mankind. Things will get better by the end of this, but this is like one of the lowest points, honestly, for me and Mankind as a character. Like,
no, that was versus the oddities.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, again, the oddities are nothing to me. Like, I don't think of them at all. I just wanted to wrap this up by saying that I've officially decided that despite the fact that I owned a Socko shirt back in high school, it does not hold up for me. I've been trying. I am over Socko. I'm done with it. I gave this 1 star. I didn't hate it enough to go dud, but I didn't like it either. Joe, what'd you think of it?
So I obviously don't like the Socko stuff either, and they made it into a bigger joke here, but I do like what's going on with Mankind right now. I think that having the Stooges bullying him and making a mockery of him is just so genius, because it's really going to help propel Mankind to being one of the biggest baby faces ever in the company. So to me, it's just really good storytelling here. And even with the match itself, I think Mankind and Al Snow, they work well together, obviously. And I'm really into this whole Mankind bullying story. And I also loved JR making a Jim Barnett reference. He said those Gucci loafers are in the Jim Barnett collection. So my boy. I landed on 3 stars. I landed in the middle here because I like this bullying of Mankind.
I'm on the record of being a huge Mankind fan, but even back in my youth, I loved Mankind, but I was never a Socko fan. I always hated the fact that they strapped that Socko thing on him, and I continue to be a fan of his, but it was just one of those things I rolled my eyes every time they really focused on Socko, because I thought it just took away from the greatness that Mankind and Mick Foley is to basically boil them down to this stupid gimmick. But the match, Al Snow and Mankind, they functioned very well together. I thought there was nothing bad here, but it wasn't a long match, and I ended up landing somewhere in between you guys. I ended up with a 2 star.
What'd Meltzer say?
He had no comments, but he gave this a 1/2 star, so I guess he hated it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess. All right, we'll keep going to our next match. The Rock defeats Ken Shamrock by pinfall in 8 minutes and 20 seconds in a quarterfinal bracket. As I said the last time I was here with you guys, Ken Shamrock and The Rock are not strangers to each other, and I went into this match with pretty high expectations for where it could go. And it got going, and I was sucked in. The Rock took a hard bump into the ring stairs that looked great. My optimism got a little shaken, though, when the Big Boss Man came out. I didn't need help to enjoy this match from him. When Shamrock put the ankle lock on, that was a great view. You had The Rock yelling in pain in front of the camera, Shamrock's face snapping out like just over The Rock's shoulder. Great cinematic view of what was going on there. And the rope break for that was a nice crowd pop. I loved The Rock baiting the Boss Man to provide the distraction to punch Shamrock in the nuts. That was good. And the kick out of the people's elbow was good, a great way to build to the finish. And the actual finish here was worked really, really well, I thought. The Boss Man threw the nightstick to Shamrock while the ref was distracted, but The Rock grabbed the nightstick out of the air as it was sailing over, used it on Shamrock, and then got the pin. I can't say enough how impressive that was to pull off so perfectly in the heat of the moment there. And that's really all I can say about this. I thought the match was pretty good, but that finish was fantastic. I went with 4 stars for that. Ryan, what'd you think of it?
You mentioned before, and you are absolutely correct. The Rock and Shamrock, they've had some barn burners in the past, and I thought this was another great match. One of the spots, it's a pretty memorable spot. It's when The Rock took a drink from the announcer's table and spit it in Kenny's face. Like, that's just one of those extra things The Rock's starting to add to his matches that is just going to really propel him into that next stratosphere. The ending, you're absolutely correct. The whole build-up for the ending is great. The Rock crawling to the ropes to break the ankle lock. Great television. The crowd loved it. And the real turnaround was when The Rock landed that signature swinging DDT that he does.
Yeah.
It's just such a sweet-looking move. I've always loved that move that he does. And then we get the people's elbow and the interception of the nightstick. Perfect. That could have been fucked up many ways, but it wasn't. Everyone played their part perfect, and I'm right there with you. I gave it 4 stars. I thought everything about this match worked.
Yeah, this was really good. The only nitpicking dickbag comment that I have is that, and again, this was probably a timing thing because there's like 20 matches on this card, but I didn't love that Ken Shamrock gets the ankle lock on The Rock, had it on him for a while. The Rock grabs the ropes, and then The Rock just goes on this offensive streak. Like, he didn't sell the ankle at all after. So that part bothered me. I feel like a Bret Hart type worker would have sold that a little bit longer after it broke the hold. But that's, again, nitpicking dickbag stuff because I don't think Ken Shamrock looked weak here. I think the near fall on the people's elbow was great. That crowd exploded when Ken kicked out of that. And the finish was not a clean finish. So it protects Ken Shamrock. We can keep him in that top just contender spot. Yeah. So really well done finish. I landed on 3 stars on this.
Yeah. What'd Meltzer have to say?
He gave it 2.5 stars. And he thought that this was nowhere close to their recent TV match.
Well, I mean, that's maybe debatable, but still, I mean, I really think the finish was the strongest part of this match.
Yeah, that was a great finish.
My humble opinion. But we'll keep it going to Michael Cole. He was backstage with Paul Bearer, and Paul gave a classically styled Paul Bearer promo. It was very nice to see. And as much as I wish we could stick with that, we have to go to our next match. Sable defeats Jackie with Marc Mero by pinfall in 3 minutes and 14 seconds to win the WWF Women's Championship with Shane McMahon as the lowly referee. Jackie looked amazing here. Not just hot, but like an actual ass kicker. Like, she looked trim, she looked fit, she was flexing, like she looked like she was able to just kick anybody's ass. She looked great.
Like she was ready to come out here and job for someone.
Despite the amount of training Sable got, she didn't look any better at all. Marc Mero, he got Sable bombed at the outside, and just all I could think of was, please stop, he's already dead.
How many is that? Is that just 2 Sable bombs?
I think
that's only 2.
Okay. I think that's only 2.
Okay.
I think it's only 2 so far.
There was a couple almost.
One,
yeah, there was an almost.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
When she just manhandled him and almost put him in another one.
Wow.
Please stop. He's already dead. That's all I had on this. This was a fucking dud. So, Joe, as a past recipient of both Sable and Jackie memorabilia, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, I mean, they both are in great shape. I'll say that. I don't know whose idea it was to have Sable actually wrestle. I don't know if it was her idea or the booking or what, but people really just want to see her as a valet manager at the time in bikinis and all this other stuff that she was doing prior to this. Poor Shane McMahon is the lowly referee during this match too. Sable does the TKO that looked terrible, and Marc Mero taking another Sable bomb is just brutal. Sable has 0 athleticism. 0. She's like the female equivalent of a body guy. You know how they call some of the guys a body guy, like Ultimate Warrior type guys?
Yeah.
Because they're just there for the aesthetic.
Ultimate Warrior is probably perfect, yeah.
if she would have been more willing to work with the talented girls like Jackie, maybe she could have been a little bit better. But from what we've heard, she was difficult to deal with and work with. She's just horrible and doesn't have an ounce of believable talent. At least the Warrior was somewhat believable when he had a formidable opponent like Hogan or Savage, those guys. But this was awful. I gave this a dud.
Jacqueline, when she first came out, her music, it almost sounded like a Sega metal song or something, like that would be played on the Sega Genesis. It was really quite a cool riff. Everything about Jacqueline works, but Sable, my lord, the moment she started wrestling, it's just some of the most piss poor shit that we've ever seen. What did her training do? Because it did not pay off. And then poor Marc Mero. Not only did he get another Sable bomb, neither one of you pointed out that he got a dick kick before the Sable bomb to set up the Sable bomb.
The punting of the dick.
Yeah, so we got another one of those. This all around was just terrible. And Jacqueline, she has to fucking job out to Sable, who really shouldn't even be able to carry Jacqueline's fucking boots. This was a dud from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, Mero, the dick kick, there's pretty much just a raw spot left there for him. I mean, he doesn't have much left after all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny. So it was something that you said, Joe. It made me imagine, so the first Sable bomb on Mero was in the ring. The second one here was at the outside. The third one's going to be on the entry ramp. And the fourth one's going to be out in the fucking parking lot right before he climbs into his Ford Taurus and drives away.
And then she'll show up and do it on WCW.
WCW.
What'd Meltzer think of this?
His comments were surprising. He said this was better than most of the matches on the card up to this point.
Oh, jeez.
But he only gave it 1 star, so...
The fuck was he looking at?
I think we know what he was looking at.
Yeah.
That shouldn't translate.
I mean, he usually rips Sable apart, too, so that was surprising.
Yeah. Well, he needs to just stick with that, I think. Now let's go into our next match. Mankind defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin by pinfall in 11 minutes and 5 seconds in a semifinal bracket. Much was made about Austin already being injured going into this. And I had to note, Joe, again, I thought of you. There were a lot of atches.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of atches.
I thought of you as well.
I think he was mic'd up. I think he had a lapel mic on during this.
In that bow tie, maybe.
Yeah. Vince McMahon got wheeled out to the ring by the Stooges. I popped when JR made an old Ironsides reference to the wheelchair. I thought that was great. At one point, Mankind ran out of the ring after dodging a stunner. I was a little confused by that, but Austin ran out to do a coconut cruncher between Mankind and the Stooges. Ryan, that made me think of you.
Love it every time.
A meeting of the minds.
Knocker. Yeah. And we got a great view of Vince's angry, hate-filled face with a 10-year-old boy holding up a foam middle finger right behind him. Such a great view.
His parents bought him that.
The timing of it was perfect because we got the view of Austin with the kid standing there, and then just straight-faced as all get out, the kid just pops up the middle finger. It was great.
Fuck yeah.
Austin kicking out of the double-arm DDT onto a steel chair was a little bit of a stretch, but the crowd reaction was worth it. Austin got a stunner in and pinned Mankind, but Vince jumped up and pulled referee Mike Chioda off of the count, then punched Chioda and dropped him. Austin got another pin, and this time referee Shane McMahon ran in, but stopped it too before giving Austin the double middle finger in a move that at face value made 0 sense at all at first to me. I was really confused as to what was going on because I didn't remember this at all. The Stooges then jumped in the ring. Briscoe gave Austin one of the weakest chair shots ever before Shane then gave Mankind a full count before the whole crew ran out of the arena into a waiting limousine. Austin tried to follow them. That ended up in a carjacking.
He commandeered that vehicle.
He tore some poor soul out of his Ford Explorer and peeled out after them. And that's what ended the segment. And JR on commentary emphasized the confusion for us there at the end. This was all apparently a big conspiracy that none of us understands just quite yet at the moment. So I gave this 2 stars. I liked the action between Austin and Mankind, but the story kind of jumped the shark here. I know we'll learn more coming up in the future, and it will make more sense, but just at this point in the pay-per-view, the finish was a bit too much for me within the story. It got a little too deep, and I started to get lost. Ryan, what'd you think of it?
I loved all of this match. Stone Cold and Mankind, they always put on a hell of a match. These 2 guys we've talked about before, they're old traveling buddies from their days at WCW, so they know how to work comfortably with each other, and I thought the ring work was pretty much perfect between these guys. And then we get the story coming in at the end. Shane O'Mac doing the betrayal on Stone Cold. Me and Joe brought it up last week that we smelled something was coming, but we didn't know what it was going to be or when it was going to play out. Well, here it is. Don't trust anybody, especially a fucking McMahon. I thought this worked really good for me. We have McMahon cahoots, if you will. Chair shot puts Austin out for Mankind. That was the only part that kind of surprised me. I didn't remember that Austin got eliminated this early in the match. I figured if he was going to lose, it would be the final match, but not before that. So that kind of surprised me. But all of this, the storytelling, I enjoyed the ring action. I went with 4 stars. So I thought it was really good stuff.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed this a little bit more than you as well, Bartlett, because of the jumping of the shark. I think that's why I enjoyed it. I think that they did a really good job of building up to me immediately thinking that Austin was going to get screwed here in some fashion, but I didn't know how. I figured maybe Boss Man's going to interfere or something is going to happen. I think that this was just well executed by everybody involved, which shouldn't be surprising when you think about the names that are involved here. And I laughed so hard when Vince McMahon just grabbed and attacked the referee. I mean, I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, the guy's been in a wheelchair.
It's a miracle he could walk.
Yeah, the guy's been in a wheelchair for weeks now, and then just all of a sudden just does this. And even Shane giving the double bird and JR just losing his shit selling this, and I just laughed. So I was so entertained by this. I'm going to give it 4 stars as well because of the entertaining shenanigans involved. I thought the chair shot was weak, but
sure,
my God, this is just classic swerve screwing.
So much screwing happening for it not being in Montreal.
It is Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So, and I loved the GTA move by Stone Cold Steve Austin in the parking garage. I thought that was hilarious.
It was straight, and the way that guy reacted was straight out of GTA.
Yeah.
Smacked up against the car and just crumbled to the floor.
Yeah, I think what confused me, Ryan, you nailed it, was just how early Austin was getting eliminated, and that's what I was like, how are they going to come back from this to like have him lose the final match? I really, really thought that he was going to be in the final match, even though I had my fucking match card in front of me. But
you would be wrong, sir.
Yeah.
Just when you thought the screwing was over.
What'd Meltzer think of that match?
He gave it 3 stars. He said, lucky nobody takes this stuff seriously because after everything Austin has taken and gotten up, it makes no sense to lay down for such a weak chair shot.
Yeah.
Screw you!
Well, let's keep going to our next match. The Rock defeats The Undertaker by disqualification in 8 minutes and 23 seconds in a semifinal bracket. Quick question, if either of you guys know the answer, have we ever seen The Rock versus The Undertaker in singles action before this?
I think once.
Yeah, I feel like we have. I don't remember it, though.
Yeah, I just remember bringing it up months ago that they had a match with each other, and it was a competitive match. It was when The Rock was starting his rise.
Okay.
And he had some, but it was a little bit ago.
Okay. I couldn't remember at all. I popped when JR said on commentary that, quote, mankind has been relegated to being the village idiot. I don't know what it was about that, but I love that turn of phrase.
His brain has been scrambled so many times.
That.
The match itself here, it honestly didn't do much for me through the first half of it. It wasn't bad, but just didn't have any electricity. One thing I did like was how much The Rock was working his exhaustion. Like, he's been in this since the first round, which it was admittedly short, but then had another intense match with Shamrock, not more than 15 minutes prior to this. Like we're going rapid fire through this, and the pay-per-view was equally as fast. His match with Shamrock really, and I'm being conservative at saying 15 minutes before this match. I popped at The Rock calling Paul Bearer a big fat piece of shit. That was great. The finish was honestly surprising to me, though. Despite the boss man coming down, it was Kane's surprise appearance and chokeslam of The Rock that got The Rock the victory.
Thank goodness they're going to keep this feud going.
Oh.
Yeah. I did pop my ass off, though, when The Undertaker punched Earl Hebner in the face for calling the disqualification. But then Kane started attacking The Undertaker, showing us that Kane was being a vindictive bitch as well as the biggest jobber of all time. And this finished with The Rock really showing the exhaustion there, leaning on the ropes and out of breath, and we moved on. So aside from the storytelling angle of selling The Rock's exhaustion, I didn't think this match was anything to really write home about. I did like the finish, but I especially loved Earl Hebner getting punched in the face. So for that fact
10
alone,
stars.
Yeah.
I went with 4 stars.
Nice.
Joe, what did you have on this?
Nice. Well, one thing I never get tired of is hearing JR talk about what a disgusting man Paul Bearer is. I just love when he goes off on that. Hideous, vile, heinous
You
man.
call him a hideous creature.
Kane hitting a horrible looking choke slam on The Rock. That was just not a good choke slam. And I'm just wondering during this whole thing, why couldn't they just have Kane beat The Undertaker? Why did they have to have, earlier in the show, Kane lose again to The Undertaker? It just makes no sense.
Especially if The Undertaker's nursing injuries and shit. Like, let Kane move on.
Yeah, you could have had
and have
Kane
this match.
have this match and have The Undertaker interfere or whatever. Like,
Sure.
I don't
just
get it.
swap the roles.
Yeah, I don't get it. But, I mean, this match was just meh. But I thought they at least redeemed it a little bit with Kane, even though he is still a jobber. But he did.
The biggest of jobbers, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did come in and attack the one of the top stars in the company. So I landed on 2 stars here.
Rock versus Undertaker. It's one of those classic Attitude Era matchups, but this one probably isn't the best of their 2 that we're going to see moving forward. And I guess I didn't know going into this that The Undertaker was injured, but that must lean into it and why this was a forgettable match. I did love seeing Paul Bearer take off his shoe and hit The Rock with it. It's just one of, he made that face and JR called him some fucking creature of the darkness or whatever. That was great. Kane, I just don't want to see this feud continue. Let them team up together. Just do something different. I don't want to see another match between these 2 for at least 6 months. Yeah. So I don't know. I ended up going with 1 star. I just didn't think there was much here.
Yeah, what'd Meltzer think?
The Meltzer agrees with you completely. He said no heat at all, 3/4 of a star.
All right. Well, keep it going to Michael Cole. He was backstage with Mankind. Mankind gave us a great promo, which then took us into our next match. The New Age Outlaws defeat D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry and the Headbangers by pinfall in 10 minutes and 10 seconds in a 3-way tag team match to retain the WWF Tag Team Championships with the Outlaw rule in effect. That means that partners can't pin partners. Commentary noted that was in effect, so I figured I probably should too. Despite some of the talent here, I was not excited for this. There were 3 men in the ring at a time during the vast majority of this match. That was not a positive. And that mindset didn't change for me through the end. Despite the talent in the ring, the match format didn't do anyone any favors, and it is that talent in the ring that kept this at a 1-star rating instead of the dud that it probably deserved from me. Ryan, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The talent kept it at a 1-star, or I probably would have went a dud because I absolutely hate triple threat matches. They're just, I don't know. Anytime you have more than just two people in the ring fighting each other, it just brings it down. It seemed like nobody knew exactly what the rules were here. The King and JR were a little bit confused. At one point, JR even chastises the fucking ref for not knowing what's going on and being very liberal in his calls tonight. But ultimately, for what is supposed to be two of the biggest titles at the company, the tag team titles, this was a very, very forgettable match, and I couldn't go any higher than a 1-star.
Yeah, it sucks we shouldn't have to go get popcorn during a tag team championship match, but here we are. But I don't like triple threat matches either, especially tag team triple threats, but it's interesting to see them play around with it at this time because in a couple of years, some of the most legendary tag team matches of all time are going to be triple threat tag matches.
That is true, but they're not going to be standard.
No,
like
but it's
table, ladder, and chair matches.
No, but I'm just thinking like it's funny they must be playing around with it. We're in the playing around stage right now with different things. It's just interesting to see that. But yeah, the covers, the counts in this match were just extremely sloppy and shitty and just wasn't well executed. It wasn't dud territory for me, but just not interesting at all. So I kept it on 1-star as well.
I can't help but wonder if this maybe would have been a little bit better if it had been somebody other than the Headbangers. But that's maybe just being a little too optimistic.
And to be honest, I love D'Lo and I like Mark Henry, but even them, they're just not a great tag team. They're singles guys.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. What'd Meltzer think of this?
Meltzer also gave this 1-star, and he said they really should have the Outlaws do the same 7-minute ring entrance every night and never have them wrestle because nobody cares once the bell rings.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's go now into our final match of the night. The Rock defeats Mankind by submission in 17 minutes and 10 seconds to win the WWF Championship. This started off with Vince and Shane jovially dismissing the Boss Man for the night, laughing and shaking hands with him. Another good parting with the Boss Man, so it's good to see that he's still in good standing with the corporation. Given the exhaustion... Oh, my bad. With the McMahons, we'll say.
Oh, I was confused. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah. Given the exhaustion and the fact that we have to make it through 17 minutes, this started out understandably slow. Vince and Shane ended up walking down to the ring to watch the match, and The Rock did some crazy chair work on Mankind. I loved JR yelling that Mick's brain cells have been depleted. His brain cells have been depleted. This match progressed with the expected increase in violence until the Spanish announce table ended up getting taken out. The crowd was absolutely into the people's elbow, and the 2 count, The Rock got out of it. Mankind did put on the mandible claw. The Rock got out of it, but that started the chain of finishing moves until, out of nowhere, The Rock put the sharpshooter on Mankind, and Mankind immediately submitted to it, which by itself was extremely surprising to me in the moment. But as it turns out, it was all a swerve. The Rock was in cahoots with the McMahons all along. Vince got up in the ring, got on the mic, called the crowd and Mankind pathetic. The crowd was still stunned. The Rock took his turn to call the crowd pieces of trailer park trash. Mankind stayed in the ring there to express his confusion, saying that he never actually submitted, which made sense, but The Rock ended up attacking Mankind from behind. It was all a work. Everybody was in on it. Mick didn't submit. Finally, Shane announced the official corporate champion, The Rock. And before it was over, Stone Cold Steve Austin showed up at the top of the entryway to stare everyone down before charging the ring to attack The Rock. They got into it, Austin coming out on top before Austin turned on Mankind to give Mick a quick stunner and then proceeded to work the corners, attack The Rock some more, and that is more or less where we faded to black. So, guys, this marks the official beginning of the corporation And not just that, but the rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. There is going to be a chase for that title. Now we have somebody that Austin is worthy of chasing, or I guess somebody that is worthy of being chased by Austin. Excuse me. And a continuation of some of the best storytelling of the Attitude Era. I'm really looking forward to this new phase that we're in now that we have 2 top-of-the-card main event stars to really round things out. I thought the match itself was good, but somewhat predictable in some places, with the swerve at the end, though, working out really well. So all in all, I ended up on 3 stars for this match, and I'm really excited for the future. Joe, what'd you have on it?
They screwed us all, is what I have to say. JR gets 10 stars from me on this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just classic JR commentary, and
very good.
He's talking about the brains being scrambled. I mean, that's knowing what we know now about CTE and Mick Foley. It's not as funny, and I don't think he would say it now. But my God, he was on one back then with the brains being scrambled. So yeah, just JR in general, just selling the shit out of this whole thing. And this is a payoff. So we've been building up to this for weeks and weeks with Mr. McMahon and the wheelchair and all this stuff. And this is the payoff, and it worked quite well. And I love seeing that father-son duo at ringside as heels. They're just so hateable on screen together. So that works well with Vince and Shane.
Whispering in each other's ear, plotting.
Yeah, it just works so well. And this match, the match itself, it almost turned into a hardcore match at one point or a couple of times. The announce table spots were very good. The Spanish announce table in particular was fantastic, getting destroyed. So, you get your classic Mankind putting his body on the line here, which just made it great. And this was quite the ballsy heel turn for the company, because The Rock just finally started getting real hot with these crowds.
Yeah.
And he's also still going to do all of his catchphrases and shit that people like. It's a very ballsy move, but this sort of shows, I think, just the versatility that The Rock has, because we know now that it's going to work quite well, where if you fast forward a couple years, the heel turn by Steve Austin didn't work so well. So The Rock is just a little bit more versatile, I think, with how he can bounce back and forth between babyface and heel. But it's funny that we still have this screw job gimmick going a year later. I think that's funny as well. Just great storytelling. They desperately need a heel wrestler for Steve Austin to work with long term. Yeah. So they took a chance here, and we know that it worked. But if we're watching right now, we don't really know that. But it's exciting, and Austin needs someone to work with that's not Vince McMahon, that is an actual wrestler, and this is going to be fun to see how everything shakes out. So I gave this 4 stars. I thought the overall presentation, the payoff was really good, and I thought the match was really good too, because you had Mankind's usual craziness.
I completely agree. This is one of the first Mankind versus Rock matches that we've seen, but as we know, this is going to become a classic matchup. They are going to go on to have some really, really great matches with each other, and some great story with each other for years to come.
And some great brain scrambling.
And some great brain scrambling, which this match I fucking love. Joe, you brought it up. It essentially turned into a hardcore match, but that spot where Mankind picked up the stairs and then The Rock hits him over with a chair and then just starts just annihilating him on the stairs, and then Mankind gets up and he wraps that fucking chair around Mankind's head. JR screams, "His brain scrambled again, over easy and well done." Like you said, I mean, JR was in rare form for this match, and he really helped put it over. And outside of a great match, how can you top some of this storytelling. Joe, again, you pointed out how for months we've been building up this great build up for The Rock. He's come from the chance of die, Rocky die, to just exploding the building the moment he walks down the ramp. And now you're going to tell the fans, go fuck yourself. He hates you, calls you trailer park trash. All of it just worked perfectly. This is some of the best storytelling we've seen, and we've seen some good shit in the last few months, but this is at the top of it because the amount of anger that you got out of this crowd, you saw some people throwing drinks into the ring at the end, like They were pissed off. Fantastic job. I gave it 5 stars. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, it's WWF's version of NWO in a way.
Yeah.
Because this is the cool heel now in WWF.
Yeah. Almost the anti-NWO, though, because it's the corporation. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but The Rock, though, like they still like him because he's a cool heel, but they're going to boo him and throw shit at him, too.
The way that they ended the match really just over-the-top reenactment of the Bret Hart screwing, making The Rock actually put on the sharpshooter.
Ring the bell.
Could they be any bigger trolls? Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, the thing that I really like about the way that this worked out is this is more to Joe's point about The Rock, and now The Rock has to be a heel. He really doesn't have to do anything. He hasn't changed at all. He became a babyface just by doing whatever the hell he wanted. He was using his catchphrases. He was telling people to shut their damn mouths and know their roles and jabronis and all that. And he really doesn't have to change much. And he can still be himself, and he'll be that babyface heel, that blended, much like how Austin was a heel babyface. Now we're going to have a babyface heel.
Because the fans are still going to cheer him on, especially when he rips into people and calls them fucking trailer park trash, pootie tang, fucking whatever he says.
Rudy Poo.
Rudy Poo. There you go.
Rudy Poo candy ass.
Rudy Poo. Pootie tang. I had Chris Rock on that.
Yeah. What'd Dave think of it?
Dave gave it 3.5 stars. He said, good match, but the crowd was not reacting like it was a great match.
All right, well, thanks, Dave, for that insight. We faded to black, so that gets us to the most important question of the evening. At a premium price of $29.95, did you get your money's worth? But not just that, what was your favorite sign? Ryan, please take that first.
I think this was an easy call. I got my money's worth. I mean, we had a couple questionable, mediocre matches here and there. Sable. For the most part, we had some very strong matches here. I gave a 5-star to the Mankind Rock match. I also gave a 5-star match of the year candidate to the Mankind Dwayne Gill match. So hard to say I didn't get my money's worth. I definitely did.
What was your favorite sign?
And my favorite sign was ICP can suck it.
Oh, nice.
Suck it!
Well deserved. So I can't believe it, but I think I did get my money's worth. And with this many wrestling matches,
wow,
there was still enough soap opera for me. But also, I thought about the fact that if I watch Monday Night Raw tomorrow and I find out about how this show ended and I didn't see it, I would have been pissed. Like, I would have been like, shit, I missed that. That sucks. So, yes, I got my money's worth. My favorite sign was, what does everybody want? Tits.
So true.
So we got a trifecta here. I absolutely got my money's worth.
Wow, that's a tough one out of you.
Yeah, this might be the first time in a while, I think. The unanimous money's worth.
I mean, brackets. I enjoyed the brackets. But with that being said, I'm also very glad to return to regular pay-per-view format after this for the foreseeable future. Like, this was good, and I enjoyed the brackets, but it was also a bit of a marathon to get through. So it was very good as a one-off, and I don't want to come back to this again, at least not for maybe a year or so. And my favorite sign was actually held up by those 3 cosplayers in the front row, the ones that were dressed as Kane, Mankind, and Goldust. For the Rock versus Mankind match, they held up a sign that said "The People's Freaks."
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it was only for a split second that we got it, but I did catch it there. So I had to pop for that because it was just fitting, considering how great those cosplayers were. They looked amazing.
Oh, they did.
They did. Fine
Especially
job.
that Goldust.
Yeah. Where was this
The
again?
paint job.
St. Louis?
Yes,
Okay.
St. Louis, Missouri. So, Joseph, you have some numbers from the Wrestling Observer for us.
Yeah, I do. The Observer readers rated this show, and we have 46.6% thumbs up. We have 34.7% thumbs down and 18.6 in the middle. So pretty split show here.
That's
I'm
weird.
surprised it's that split.
Yeah, I was too, but then I thought, well, there weren't any like 4 or 5 stars from Observer type crowd. So
I guess so. I mean, I gave 2, but
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more lenient.
Yeah, best match was Rock versus Mankind. And the worst match for the first time ever, I think, is for our show, there was a tie for worst match. And that was Undertaker versus Kane and Jeff Jarrett versus Al Snow.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that the triple threat tag match was not far behind those two.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the voting. Dave Meltzer's comments on the show overall, he says, if you watch pro wrestling largely or entirely for storyline or as a soap opera, as the majority of WWF viewers do today, then this was a very good show. If you watch wrestling for wrestling, it was a bad show. If you watch for both, your opinion will be somewhere in between. I guess the answer is that everyone watches pro wrestling for entertainment, and at that point, it becomes what entertains you.
I suppose so.
Yep.
Yeah.
A very down the middle statement from him on that one.
Yeah. I think you said 18%, right?
Yeah, 18%, which is you, sir.
Yeah,
You
that's
are-
what I thought. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second, because
But
I
you
like
weren't down the middle.
I like both the storytelling
You
and
were a
the wrestling,
46%er, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yes,
That's-
he
I
is.
You're
Yes.
part of the majority today.
Yeah, he got
Sir.
a promotion.
Very ordinary.
Yeah, that is all that was reported in the Observer on the Survivor Series 1998.
all right. Well, thank you, Joseph, illuminating as always. And that's it, folks. We are done with this one. I want to thank you again for joining us. If you like what we're doing here and want to connect with us, you can email us at WRASSLINRAW. Just add @gmail.com to the end of that to submit questions or comments. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on every podcast subscription platform. While you're there, don't forget to follow and subscribe to get every episode of Wrasslin Raw coming to you every week. Give us a 5-star review and tell all of your friends to tune in to the most ubiquitous
Whoa.
Monday Night Raw review podcast on the airwaves. I'm really starting to stretch it now.
Digging into that thesaurus.
Yeah, I have it saved in my bookmarks bar. Next time on Wrasslin Raw, we're going to take a look at the Raw that aired on November 16th, 1998, with matches featuring the Oddities, the Blue Blazer, and
Whoa.
many more. So, for Joe and Ryan, I'm Jason, and this has been Wrasslin Raw.